All right, let's cut across right now immediately to the Home Ministry press conference right now.
देश में जो केसेस रिकवर हो चुके हैं वो 97% से अधिक है। ये जो हरा हिस्सा है इस ग्राफ का, ये आपको दिखाता है कि 97% से ज़्यादा रिकवरी है कोविड से और 1.51% एक्टिव केसेस हैं। जो नीला हिस्सा है जो आप देख रहे हैं, जो लगातार नीचे घटता जा रहा है, वो एक्टिव केसेस का है। और बीच में जो लाल रंग की आपको रेखा दिखती है वो मृत्यु दिखाती है। तो मृत्यु 1.41% है, एक्टिव केसेस 1.51% हैं और रिकवर्ड केसेस 97.08% हैं। ये स्थिति तब है जब देश के कुछ राज्यों में केसेस की संख्या बढ़ रही है। तो मैं इसको आपके समक्ष परिप्रेक्ष्य में रखना चाह रहा था। Although certain states in the country are seeing a surge in the number of active cases, the fact remains that the recovered cases are still more than 97% and the active cases are still less than 2%, which is 1.51. So this is the broader national perspective. अब हम आपको ये बताना चाहते हैं कि देश में जो इन्फेक्शन का स्प्रेड है, जो कि प्रतिदिन होने वाले नए केसेस की संख्या में परिलक्षित होता है, उसमें क्या बदलाव आए हैं। द स्प्रेड ऑफ इन्फेक्शन इन द कंट्री इज रिफ्लेक्टेड इन द नंबर ऑफ डेली न्यू केसेस एंड दिस ग्राफ शोज यू द केसेस एज दे हैव बिहेव्ड फ्रॉम जून 2020 टू 2 मार्च 2021। जून 2020 से लेकर 2 मार्च 2021 तक की स्थिति। तो आप देखेंगे कि मिड सितंबर में प्रतिदिन हम 92,000 से ज़्यादा नए केस देश में रिपोर्ट करते थे कोविड के। फिर वो लगातार घटते गए और नवंबर में ऐसी स्थिति आई कि हम 92,000 से घटकर 50,000 नए केस प्रतिदिन रिपोर्ट कर रहे थे। फिर लगातार गिरावट जारी रही और दिसंबर के अंत में हम 18,700 से अधिक केसेस प्रतिदिन नए केस रिपोर्ट कर रहे थे देश में। ये और घटे और फरवरी के प्रारंभ में केवल 8,600 रह गए थे प्रतिदिन नए केसेस जो रिपोर्ट होते थे। द डेली न्यू केसेस दैट वर रिपोर्टेड were as low as 8,635. But of late, certain states that we will now be discussing in course of this presentation have shown a surge, as a result of which the daily cases from a low of 8,635 per day are now at 12,286. So this is a brief graphical representation of the daily new cases. अगर पिछले 2 सप्ताहों की स्थिति को आप देखें तो कौन से ऐसे राज्य हैं जहां प्रतिदिन औसत नए केसेस की संख्या 200 से अधिक है। बिकॉज दीज आर द स्टेट्स विच आर सिग्निफिकेंट फ्रॉम द एपिडेमोलॉजिकल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू फॉर अस एज वेल एज फॉर द हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट्स ऑफ वेरियस स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स। छत्तीसगढ़ में औसत नए केस प्रतिदिन पिछले 2 सप्ताह की औसत के आधार पर 248 नए केस आते हैं। मध्य प्रदेश में 297, गुजरात में 338, कर्नाटक में 422, पंजाब में 434, तमिलनाडु में 460, केरला में 3,800 और महाराष्ट्र में 6,400। अब मैं आपको राज्यों के बारे में, जिन राज्यों की हमने जिक्र किया, उनके ग्राफ दिखाना चाहूँगा। ये पहला महाराष्ट्र का है जो 1 फरवरी से लेकर 2 मार्च तक केसेस ने कैसे बर्ताव किया। द बिहेवियर ऑफ न्यू केसेस इन द स्टेट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र फ्रॉम 1 February to 2 March. You will see that there was a low of almost 2,500 cases in mid-February, but from then the cases have increased, have reached a high of 8,000 plus new cases every day, and in the last 24 hours, 6,000 cases, new cases. So that is a cause for concern. Our team is in Maharashtra as we speak to you. In Tamil Nadu, the interesting thing is that cases seems to have plateaued without any decline. So the decline was seen from 1st of February to roughly 10th of February, and from 10th of February onwards, the cases seems to have plateaued, and we have also deputed a central team to Tamil Nadu. If we look at Punjab, there is a marked, distinct, steady increase in cases. And this increase has started from 1st of February onwards, and from 1st of February to 2nd of March, cases have gone on increasing. Haryana shows a mixed trend. Cases have increased, and then in the last 2 days, they have started declining. So we are monitoring Haryana. Also in Punjab, we have deputed a central team. Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh, also we have deputed central teams. Gujarat had seen a decline in mid-February, but now it is again showing an increase, although in the last 2 days the numbers have come down in Gujarat. If we look at Madhya Pradesh, particularly the districts of Madhya Pradesh that adjoin Maharashtra, they are showing an increase in new cases. We will now talk of COVID vaccination. The total doses which have been administered till 1 p.m. today are 1,48 lakh plus. Out of this, 2,08,000 doses have been given to people who are 45 to 59 with comorbidities and 60 plus. 67 lakh doses have been given to healthcare workers as first dose. 25 lakh 98,000, almost 26 lakh doses have been given to healthcare workers as their second dose, and frontline workers, 53 lakh plus doses have been given to frontline workers. We will also like to share with you the granular picture of how states are performing in terms of COVID-19 vaccination. So we have 9 states and UTs where either 100% of first dose to registered healthcare workers or more than 90% has been given. These are Lakshadweep, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan. The good thing to note is that states like Jharkhand, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Ladakh have given 100% of their healthcare workers the first dose. And another interesting aspect here to note is that some of these states in the initial stages showed hesitancy. You would recall that Tamil Nadu was a particular cause of concern for us because in the initial weeks, the healthcare workers were hesitant to come and take their first dose. From that period till date, this is a significant improvement. There are 9 states and UTs which have also given to more than 75% of their healthcare workers the second dose. These are Chhattisgarh, Andhra Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Telangana, Odisha, Sikkim, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Nagaland and Lakshadweep. So this is also commendable performance. If we look at the frontline workers, there are 9 states and UTs which have shown a coverage of more than 70%. And these are Chhattisgarh, Himachal Pradesh, Odisha, Tripura, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Lakshadweep, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat. So this is the information that we wanted to share with you at this point in time. Aapka bahut bahut dhanyawad.
Now I request Dr. Adarsh Sharma to speak about the COVID app.
Well, thank you friends and good afternoon to all of you. I will not be making a presentation. I'll just speak broadly as to what is the approach now in the vaccination. So before 1st of March, we were actually focusing on the frontline workers and health workers And the approach was that we collected their data, and then, we were creating sessions, and then we were inviting them, and they were coming, and we were vaccinating them. That was the approach. Now, this time around, we said that because that was a captive audience, and therefore it was possible to have that kind of approach, and we also had their data. Then, if we go to the citizens part, that approach will not work, because essentially we can't have the data of the citizens, or we don't have them at one place, and we don't know whether people will come or not come and after invitation. So we wanted to do a demand-driven approach rather than supply-driven. So anybody who is interested in getting vaccinated, they should sort of apply, they should register, and we should create such a framework. So essentially, since yesterday, we have started the framework where you can go to the either Arogya Setu app, which has now got an extension for CoWIN, or you can go to the CoWIN portal, where cowin.gov.in, and you can register yourself. You just have to, it's a very simple process. You just have to give your mobile number, the OTP will come, and then you can, your dashboard will start showing up. You can register up to 4 people on that. So maybe your family members or your friends, you can register them. That's a simple process. After registration, you can also schedule an appointment. Now, once you go to the appointment schedule, you will see the list of hospitals which are near you after you give your location, etc., location details. Then those hospitals, they will show the vacancies available. So it's like a train reservation, when you go and look at the timetable, then you can find out as to which train or which day is vacant. So you will find which hospitals, which day, how many vacancies are available. You can just make a reservation. And you can make an appointment for 1 person out of the 4 or 4 together, whichever way you want. So there's a huge amount of flexibility. Maybe 4 people can be registered. If somebody is working, then he or she may be registered on Sunday, and somebody who's not working, retired, he might be, sort of doing it on a working day also. So you can have completely, disaggregated reservations. You also have the flexibility to change reservations, to change the, sort of scheduling. You can change, you can cancel, you can reschedule. All things are possible. Also, when you schedule a reservation and then you take your first jab, the second jab is also scheduled automatically at the same place where you are you have taken your first jab. Because at one place we will be using only one type of vaccine. Now, in case you think that you are not able to go to that place, and because of the various reasons, you may be traveling or you may be, going to other places, you may change that also. So which means that suppose you took your first jab in Delhi and then you for some reason had to go to Trivandrum, you can actually schedule your appointment there also after 28 days normal, 1 week here and there. So that way, only thing is that now the system will show you only those places where you got, which is delivering or dispensing the same vaccine which you took at Delhi. So which means that we will take care to ensure that you don't get 2 different vaccines at 2 jabs. So you can get an appointment there. So the whole, this completely flexible system, and it allows really demand-driven approach to happen. If you are more than 60 years of age, then you just have to, submit one document of identity proof. That identity proof and age proof, of course, that can be Aadhaar, that can be PAN card, passport, driving license, which means any document which has got your photograph, which has got your gender, which has got your name and age is good enough. So that's what you have to take. And if you take Aadhaar, the best thing is that you don't have to, create any photocopies or give any document, because Aadhaar provides a digital authentication service which you can do. Otherwise, other documents' photograph will be taken and your photograph will also be taken. That's the way to authenticate your identity. Now, in case you are more than 45 years, but less than 60, then you have to also, you are allowed to be vaccinated if you suffer from any of the comorbidities which have been notified by the government. There are 20 of them, and if you are suffering or if you are having any of those conditions, you will have to get a certificate from your doctor, any registered medical practitioner, and you can go to the center, show the certificate. That certificate also be copied, photocopied and uploaded on the system so as to become a part of your document that you have taken this vaccine and this is the basis of your comorbidity. So that's another part. So this way, the process of vaccination also is very simple. You don't have to have a load of document, just a document proving your identity and just a document proving your comorbidity in case you are between 45 and 60. So that is what actually is the process and system. At the back end, every vaccination is recorded, which means that every time you do a vaccination, there is a real-time recording taking place after you are vaccinated. That data is uploaded so that we know which person has been vaccinated by what vaccine and on what day and by whom. So all those details are there. Immediately after vaccination, a certificate is issued. If it is the first dose, then we issue what is called the provisional certificate. And if it is after second dose, we will issue what is called a final certificate. This will be a digitally signed document. This will be given as a printout to you at the time you leave this, after half an hour of your, sort of observation period. That will be given as a printout and certificate. This will also be sent to your mobile Arogya Setu app. It will also be put in your digital locker. So it will be downloadable certificate which you can download anytime. And next time when you go to have a, on your job or something where it may be required. So that I think is another part which will be required. So this is the broad sort of process. I think I have covered it more or less. Now the numbers, let me tell you that since last morning we launched this system, and since yesterday we have had about 50 lakh registrations on our site. So which means that if the number is about 124 could be the number. Now if the average number is 2, that means as many as 1 crore people have registered on our site. Obviously, they will take appointments. Somebody might have, they must have just registered. They might not have decided on where to go, what date to go. So they may not have taken the appointment. But essentially, this is the way the system is working. People had complained yesterday about the glitches in the system. And unfortunately, glitches is something which has become associated with all the IT systems initially. There were glitches in the first version of the program, which we started on 16th of January, which were rectified, and thereafter there have been no glitches. In this particular version, there were no glitches, but what had happened was that the people were looking for an application, for an app. So they were looking for an app, and they did find an app, which looked quite similar to the CoWIN app or something, and they started, working on that, and that app was not meant for this purpose. And therefore, people started saying, oh, ये तो काम नहीं कर रहा है, चल ही नहीं रहा है, इसको कैसे होगा भाई, आपका तो शुरुआत में ही गड़बड़ होने लगा. So then we told them that we are not putting up any app. The Arogya Setu will provide that functionality, or you can go on to the CoWIN website. So this is the way it has started. We have had no glitches in the system since yesterday, and of course we are watching the system for its scalability, because the system has to be highly scalable. It is not a small type of system. It is very simple, but it should be able to take care of the huge amount of load. After all, this is a program where we'll be vaccinating 1/6 of humanity. And therefore, this program has to cater to not hundreds and thousands, but millions of people at the same time. And there have to be the transactions will be very large. And of course, data transmission will also be pretty large. And therefore, scalability is of concern to us. Similarly, we also want data to be secure, safe. The application should be free from any cyber attacks, because there are possibilities of that also. So we are taking care with the best security practices to ensure, and we want to ensure that the citizens' data is safe. Of course, we are not calling any personally sensitive data. The only data which we are collecting is the name, gender, age, that's all. We are not collecting even the addresses, in fact. So these are just 3 data points which are essential for us to know, because we need to monitor the kind of second dose and ensure that second dose is also same as the first dose. So that is a broad sort of architecture of the system. At the supply side, the hospitals publish their timetable, publish their sessions. That's what is happening since yesterday, which means that it's like a train timetable. The hospitals are like trains who are publishing their timetable. The citizens are actually just making reservations against those timetables. So that's how this system is expected to work. The state governments are actually sort of coordinating with the hospitals. The supply of vaccines to them is happening through the state governments. And
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.